Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Mama T's Craft Closet. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all the support. Again, we're learning things. We're learning things. Uh, let's see, what did we learn on the last video? I think I talked about it at the end of the last video, actually. So what we learned at the end of the last video was this needs to be in focus. It wasn't in focus. Not sure why last time, but right now it looks good. And then when I'm filming face down, where you guys are watching me do what I'm doing, um, definitely need to make sure that I'm close enough. So, because it was impossible virtually if you guys see anything. Today's going to be a little different because I'm doing clay today, doing polymer clay. We're going to make some earrings and actually some ring blinks. So, with polymer clay, the brand that I'm going to be using today is Cernit. So this is the brand. And I'm going to be using all translucent, actually not all translucent. So I'm going to be using this color here, which is blue turquoise. And I'm going to be using this color here, which is an emerald color. And then this one is actually not translucent, and this one's called vanilla. So we're going to be doing what one of my favorite clay YouTubers calls Chippy Choppy. Deb is her name. She has a YouTube channel. She was originally from the UK or Europe, and she now lives in the United States. She's one of the people I follow. Let's see, it's called Clay Boutique is the name of her channel. Big shout out to her, because what I love about Deb is that she doesn't get too caught up in being perfect when she's doing her clay, which I love. Because there's no such thing. It's a craft. It's a creative process. So there's no such thing as being perfect. It just doesn't happen. You and even if you were to do, like, I did not test run this technique that I'm doing today, because honestly, even if I were to, it's probably come out different, because that's the nature of the beast with clay. It's very hard to get the same exact results every single time, which is cool. I like that. I prefer that. So her YouTube channel is at Clay Boutique, all one word. And she's just really great. She's fun to watch. She makes beautiful pieces. I've learned some really cool techniques from her. So I just want to give her a shout out. I've learned from watching YouTube videos, and that's why I wanted to start this YouTube channel. So let's get going. Let's get started. No chit chat. No chit chat. No chit chat. Guys, here we go. So we've got the space set up. Hopefully it is a better view this time than when I was doing the other thing. So, like I said, we're using vanilla Cernit #1, which is just their like baseline. This is a turquoise translucent, and this is a emerald. And then this is just their translucent, just regular translucent. So when you're doing polymer clay, the biggest tools that I use, tools I have to use all the time, is a roller, roll it out, and tissue blades. So these suckers are sharp, okay? I can't tell you how many times. So you can see that's the sharp edge here. And then this here is the dull edge. So this is the sharp edge, this is the dull edge. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to cut and had the dull edge down and the sharp edge on my fingers and push down and cut myself. So it's more like a paper cut. It's not too bad, but still. All right, so the biggest thing, and kind of, I don't mind it, but it takes a while, is conditioning the clay. So conditioning the clay just means that you want it to be really malleable and soft. So when it first, comes out of the package, it's cold usually, because it's been sitting in a drawer. The great thing about clay, though, this polymer clay, is that it does not harden until it is baked. So that is the coolest thing about it, because it can sit like this out forever and it won't harden. It won't cure. It'll get dried out. It'll take a while to recondition it. But it doesn't dry out like air dry clay would. So I got to figure out what I want. Oh, you know what? I learned in my last video too, you guys, I say so a lot. Way too much. So, I am going to be trying to be really cognizant of that because I say it a lot. I could not believe how many times I said it in my last video. I was getting annoyed watching it myself. I apologize in advance. We have about equal parts, roughly. I mean, it doesn't, that's the thing with clay. That's what this one is really soft. I'm noticing this already. That one's pretty soft. This one, not really. And this one's going to be okay. So the conditioning part, I'm not going to show you all of that all the time because it will just take forever. What I'm doing now, oh gosh, what I'm doing now is this is a glass surface. Sorry, I just hit the camera. This is a glass surface that I got at Hobby Lobby. And it's a great surface to work on. When I'm actually getting ready, once we're at the part where I'm actually getting ready to cut out my pieces, I will put the slab on a stone, not a stone, but a tile, on a ceramic tile, because that's what I'll bake it on. So I want to put it on a ceramic tile when I bake it. You want to roll it out pretty thin, and then I'm going to put it through my pasta roller. I have a pasta machine that I bought. It's a hand crank one. You know, people use it literally to make pasta, but it's really good for conditioning the clay. So I'll be right back. One of the issues that you get with polymer clay is when it is dry. I ran this through my pasta roller and it just crumbled. So we're going to work it a little bit more. I just want to show you guys this, right? See how that's stretching a little bit before it rips apart? This one I put through the pasta machine just a few times. Very pliable. That blue one is giving me a run for my money. But that happens, you know, sometimes you get I don't want to say a bad batch, but you do get clay that may have been sitting longer than other ones for whatever reason. It's just not conditioned and kind of dried out. So like if I, you know, put that out flat, run it through my pasta machine, you'll hear it in the background here. See, that's that one. Now let's do that with this one. You can see the difference in, even just as I'm rolling it out, how much harder I have to push down, and it's breaking and cracking. What I might have to do with this one is add some liquid clay, clear liquid clay to it, just to get it so it's a little more, and I'll show you the difference here. So I did the same thing I did with the green one. That's right here, right? Doing the same thing, rolling it out flatter. You can see all the cracks and breaks in it. But watch when I put it through the pasta machine. Same setting. It's getting a little bit better than it was. But see, when I fold it in half, it cracks. This one, it doesn't. That's the big difference. I need to get this one to that same consistency. So I'll be back. Okay, so we are back. I ran this through my pasta machine probably 30 times at least. That's where it's at now when I bend it. Still not great, but better. Certainly better. So I'm going to run it through a few more times, and I'll be back with the white, which I think this one is going to give me the same issue, which really stinks. I don't know why it's like that. This one might give me the same issue as well. Not happy about that. it makes for the process to be a lot longer than it needs to be, which can be really frustrating. All right, so we've got the blue one. I was just about to do the vanilla, and I wanted to share with you the bane of my existence when it comes to clay work in this house. Hair. So air bubbles was the bane of my existence with resin, and with clay, it's cat hair. It's like Ari adding her own little sprinkles to my work. I am happy to report that the vanilla is good. So, damn that word. Damn that word. After we've run it through the pasta machine and conditioned it, I'm just going to form it into a little logadoo. And then we're going to chop it up. A little log like that. The blue one as well. They don't have to be the same size. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so the translucent white was kind of in between the cream or the vanilla and the blue. It's a little, it's a little iffy, but we'll be okay. Now I'm gonna do this up into a ball the best I can. Okay, we are back. So to help get those vein kind of looks in between the pieces of stone, I'm going to be using the alcohol ink, so I was just shaking that up best I could right now. I will shake it again. So let's do the old chippy choppy. Like I said, I got that term from Deb from Clay Boutique. Chippy choppy. All right, so I've put gloves on. So I'm going to be working with the alcohol ink, and it gets really messy if you don't. So I'm going to shake it up some more because, as I said before, the mixatives and the pearl ones, you have to shake up really, really well. All right, so we're going to do this one first. What the alcohol ink does too, not only making the veins and whatever, is it keeps the kind of chunky bits separated. Okay, so this one is still drying over here. That's pretty good. So yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna start combining these. This is gonna be a huge lab, you guys. I always do this. I kind of overdo it. What the cool part is you can use every bit of it, because once we have this slab, then this slab can turn into another slab, and that slab can turn into another slab. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some silver leaf in this. And then that is going to be put into a block. So the liquid clay that I'm going to use is Sculpt B. And I'm actually going to use white. I was going to use clear, But because I really want the white lines in between the different colors to get the veining of the stone, I am going to use the white. All right, are we ready? Cut the slab. All right, but I do need, now, one thing I have learned when you're cutting a slab, actually, this, the tissue blades come in different, I don't know if I want to say strengths, or what's the word I'm looking for? Different, like stiffness, I guess. Like this one doesn't really bend at all. It doesn't bend much. And this one, it is longer, but it does bend a little bit more. And then this one's, huh?
Different gauges.
Oh, different gauges, hubby said. This one bends thicknesses, I guess. This one bends quite a bit. And then, so it's like how thick or thin it is, the metal. So this one I use, this one's my slicing one for canes. Or, I mean, technically, I guess this is a cane, and it will be a slab. So let's take a look. Okay, first cut. I don't know what's on that, but I think we're good. Oh, yeah. Check that out. Ah. Now keep in mind, this is translucent. That yellowy vanilla color is vanilla. It's going to kind of stay that color. So that's our first slice. And then that's literally just what we do. I try to turn it every time I slice it, only because it does smush a little bit. And you do want to try to get uniform thickness with each slice that you get, because once we slice it, we're going to lay it out and put it into a slab. A lot of times what happens is when I am slicing, that happens. Exactly what I wanted to demonstrate for you. So see how that, I must have angled the blade. All right, so now we're going to do the slab. So we're literally just going to take the pieces we cut and we're going to put them down together like that. All right, guys, there it is. So that is it put through the pasta machine at a 1. Oh, and there's a hair. Oh, I can get it though. Told you about those pesky little hairs, didn't I? There we go. I am going to take a piece of paper and I'm going to burnish this a little bit. Okay, so this is a technique that I've learned from a couple different clay artists. I use this stone that I have. It's just and you go all around. This helps if you're, adding different colors or whatever, but this just kind of helps even out because it is the chippy choppy kind of thing. There. Oh yeah, nice. And there's a hair in there, darn it. Stupid hairs, they're unavoidable. It's probably the same one I already took out already. There, got it. Alright, so I'm going to put this back on and burnish it some more. Cool. I am really excited for this. So now I'm going to grab my tile to put it on. I'm a little worried. Yeah, we're going to use a blade to get this off because burnishing it does kind of stick it down a bit much. So I am going to burnish it again onto the actual slab or onto the tile. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So these are the tiles that I use. These are just ceramic tiles that I bought at Home Depot. They're bathroom tiles. They're perfect for baking on. This one is going to be a little big, so we're just going to put that on and then cut it just to fit. And then we'll put the other piece on the other one. There we go. And the reason why you do want to burnish on to the tile too is you'll get shiny bits on the tile. Some people put it on paper, like not copy paper, but on move that up a little bit. They'll put it on like cardstock, which helps reduce the shininess. But I've learned that using acetate or acetone, not acetate, but using acetone. Sorry, I have a squeak in my chair. I don't know what that's about. The acetone it does remove the shininess off the back. So 100% acetone is amazing. It works really well to get rid of any fingerprints or imperfections that you have on the back of your pieces or on the front of your pieces once they're baked, not while it's not baked. If it's unbaked, do not put acetone on it because it will just eat right through it, because acetone eats through anything. I've learned that the hard way with other stuff that I put it on before. So yeah. All right. Now this is the hard part, deciding what shape I want to do. This is always the tricky part. So I'm going to go over to my clay cutters, which I have a lot of, and pick out some shapes for some earrings and maybe a pendant or two. So I'm going to do these ones here. So this one and then this one. So we're definitely going to do these. I always use cornstarch to dip my cutter into because I don't want it to stick. So it's just plain old cornstarch. I flip the cover down. Let me move these so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. All right, put it there and here. All right, so I'm going to make a bunch with this one. So I literally will just move this, tap it into the cornstarch, and then just tap it over here, just so you have a really light. And you're just going to jam. Tile, and I'm going to cut these. Now this has a really, you just saw me probably picking at it with this tool. This has a really weird kind of, that's like old clay in there. Notice how it's not hardened. That is a really narrow. So one thing I think I wasn't a fan of with this cutter is, as cool as the shape is, this really narrow piece right here is really hard to get it to come out well in the clay. So I'm going to try to clean that out really well now, and hopefully it will cut well. There we go. That's nice and cleaned out there. All right, so we're going to want to cornstarch this one really well, but we don't want it in that hole. All right, there we go. And then this one I'm also going to use, I'm going to get a smaller. So all these are stamping blocks. These are acrylic stamping blocks that I bought. All right, so I'm going to use this to help me push it down in there. Ooh, okay, and that's actually not a bad thing. I'm actually kind of happy that that did that, because it pulled it out of there, which is so much better. And then I'll go like this with this tool here. All right, so every clay has baking times and temps. And that's when it's really important, because you don't want to burn the clay, because it will burn. You can't so here's the funny thing about clay. You can't bake it for too long. As long as you have it at the right temperature, you could leave it baking for days. You wouldn't want to do that, but you could. And it won't burn. When it burns is when the temperature is too high. It's not for the duration, it's how the temp, if the temp's too high, it will burn. I'm going to use these pieces that I had here for the ring blanks that I bought. So yeah, let's try those. All right, so I'm trying to think the easiest way to do this may just to be, because that's a pretty shallow, let's see, a pretty shallow cavity that's there. So I'm wondering if I should run this through the pasta maker, because that looks like it would be, it needs to be a little bit thinner than that. So I'll run it through the pasta maker at a, I think it's on 1 right now. Yeah, I'll run it through as a 2, and hopefully that'll be enough of the right thickness for that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I did this one off camera just to try it out. And what I did is I did it to a thickness of 1 on my Atlas pasta machine. I did run this one through a little bit on the thinner side. Excuse me. But I am going to burnish it because these little pieces are crumbling off. So they weren't stuck quite enough. Yeah, see, pieces are actually crumbling out of it. You can see it there. So I am going to burnish this just a bit to get those to stick a little better. There we go, much better. And then get it off the glass. Cool. And then put this here. And then I'm going to do a square one. So this one's a square. I'm going to dip it in the cornstarch because I'm literally just going to use it like a cookie cutter. I'm going to put it down in like that. And I'm going to peel it off this way. Okay. So that's really rough looking, right? Really, really rough. So I'm going to push that down in there really well. And then I'm going to take my tissue blade. I'm actually going to grab my smaller one that's really thin here. I'm going to use the tissue blade to cut this off. So again, just shimmying it back and forth. See, it looks pretty rough when you first do it, but then I'm going to push that down in there like that. Now it's leaving my fingerprints on there, so I am going to go over it with a piece of paper and burnish it in there. Okay, so I'm going to do this. There. Again. And then with the last one, I went over it with, oh God, that looks so good. I can't wait to see that fired. Oh, I can't wait to see it baked. Okay, this is very exciting. So I need a little bit of rubbing alcohol. I should have put this in a, there we go. I'm going to use that to kind of clean up the metal. Okay, so we'll see how that looks. There, that's it. So that's where we're going to stop. That I think is good. I'm going to go bake these and I will be back after that. All right, guys, so we are back. The pieces are all cooked. I haven't finished them with resin yet. I did get a chance to do the rings, so I wanted to show you guys those because I'm really, really excited with how they turned out. So look at those. So that is the square silver. This is the square gold. It's kind of neat because where it's translucent, you can see the gold backing of the ring. So I've resined those. This is the round one in the silver, and then this is the gold in the silver. It's pretty cool too. Again, you can see the background in there. Kind of looks like a ocean almost. So I'm really, really happy with those. So what will happen next with these is I will resin them. I can show you that really quick actually, just so you can see how nice it looks once you resin them. I'm going to take this out of here. So these are all set. Isn't that crazy, the difference that the resin makes? Love it. All right, so these are all good. All right, ladies and gents, we are at the point where we finish the earrings off. These are the ones that I was just going to do just regular ear wires on. So let's do those real quick so you can see what they look like, and then that will be the end of this video. So these are the ear wires that I use. And then jump rings. And these are the jump rings. So get my pliers. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through this video. And of course, those, I'm going to need a second jump ring. So sometimes you have to do 2 jump rings because of the way that they are on. The way that the things are. Because if I did just the one, then it wouldn't be facing the right way when it's in my ear or in your ear if you choose to buy them. So jump rings, just pull them apart. Let's see. Ta-da. So that's it. So I'm really, really pleased with how they came out. I really like them a lot. And stay tuned for the wrap up. All right, guys. So that is it. Whew, that was a lot, right? But that is the process, you know. It's creating the slab and then putting, creating the I'm not even sure what to call it. Creating the slab, I mean, essentially is where, you know, this all comes from. So, oh, look at how dry my hands are from the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol that I was using to clean everything. But yeah, so I am really, really pleased with how these came out. So just to show you. So there we are. Super pretty. I love them. Very, very happy. These ones are really cool. I really like these a lot. And then the rings. The rings are phenomenal. Where did I? Oh, here they are. I am really, really, really enjoying these. I like these a lot. I'm very, very pleased with how they came out. They're beautiful. So I'll definitely be doing some more of these with the blanks that I have. Yeah, I just think they're really, really pretty. So yeah, and these will all be up on my my page, my website, MTCC.com is my website. So those will be up there within the next day or two. So I'm just going to put them together, and there's that word again. So thank you guys so much for joining me again. Please share the video. Share the video. We need to get more subscribers. Because once I hit 500 subscribers, then I can start to monetize, which means I can maybe pull in a couple dollars. It's been a long project. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe and leave a comment. If there's anything specific that you'd like to see me do, let me know. That would be great. I would appreciate it. Any interaction that you can give is very helpful. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.